Welcome back to UNX Fast Forward, your daily dose of everything ninja. I'm Chris DeGangi.
And I'm Ethan Swanson. And right now, after this past weekend, we have our entire field of athletes set for the first major event on this weekend, November 2nd, going to be live at UNX Now. But from Traverse Fitness, our three men coming out are Donovan Vittori taking first place, Darren Perez in second, and our third qualifier, Sean Darling-Hammond.
Yeah, and on the women's side, we had Olivia Colaswano in first, Barclay Stockett in second, and Brittany Durant taking that third qualifying spot.
Right, and Traverse Fitness was a little different. The course was a lot tighter on time, making the athletes go a lot faster, and we still only had two finishers.
Yeah, the time limit was really tight. Athletes couldn't really rest too much on the course. You had to move fast.
And now we're going to take a look at what our ninja killers were at this competition.
Yeah, and so we're going to start off with the mustache ropes. Such an intense obstacle. I mean, just the jump from the trampoline up to the first mustache was a huge move, and then these ropes, each one of them was preloaded.
Yeah, and this obstacle alone took out 40% of the athletes competing on this one single obstacle. I mean, athletes aren't used to preloaded ropes like this they're preloaded so much, and they're huge launches. It took out a lot of athletes.
And honestly, we saw athletes fall at like all different points of this obstacle. We saw them fail the trampoline jump. We saw athletes fail in the first rope, fail in the second rope, fail the dismount. It was just such across the board. This was a challenging obstacle.
There's no safe spot on this obstacle.
Zero safe spot. Challenging from start to finish, and this was a very, very tough obstacle.
And really rewarded people willing to actually go for it big, because, I mean, if you pop your hips back, you take it up instead of at the rope, it just pulled you real nice into the next launch, and we saw a couple athletes connect their way on this ninja killer.
Yeah, and the athletes that connected, they made it look easy, as you said, leave your hips back. Way easier said than done.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, that brings us to our second ninja killer, not necessarily an obstacle, but it's the time limit. The 3-minute time is so tight on this course, it forced athletes to go for things that they wouldn't normally go for. Take risks, try to be a little more efficient, because if you don't, there's no chance you're going to finish in the time allowed.
Yeah, especially like 3 minutes. It's so fast. It's the fastest course we've had so far in an open qualifier. And you look at this course, and it's not like a speed course that you would typically see. It's not easier obstacles that you're kind of racing through. These are difficult, challenging obstacles that you don't have a lot of time for.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at alternate routes, it was a little bit different. Alternate routes, there's a lot of pumpy obstacles you're on for a long time. And yeah, you can get through some of these obstacles, Traverse Fitness, a lot faster, but it's all about technique, about, fluidity and being efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. But overall, I mean, I love the course design. Sean Bryan, Brian Kretsch, guys are animals. Brian's been in the game for so long. Sean has been at the top of the sport for a very long time, and so I knew they were going to come up with a good course, and it did not disappoint.
It did not, and we now have 6 athletes coming out of this qualifier, making their way to the major event, but we also had a lot of amazing moments from this qualifier.
Big time moments.
Big time moments. So let's take a look at some of those big time moments from Traverse Fitness.
And the first big time moment that we got to talk about, we had Noah Jones in a big time moment for a smaller competitor.
Yeah, he's one of the younger competitors out there, and he's shorter. We're going through the rules, and he was looking at stuff like, can I even make it to the start of that obstacle? But he showed that he belongs here, and he made it so far into the course and was very confident. It's so exciting to see a younger and smaller athlete do the same things that Kevin Bull has to do, Nick Hansen, Thomas Stillings, and excel at them.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a younger competitor competing against, this was a stacked field of veterans. And so, it's got to be intimidating to go up against that. But at the same time, he attacked that course so good, no hesitation.
He did not look intimidated at all. That's why it's one of our big time moments. It was so cool to see him running through the course and killing it. I'm sure we're going to see him, hear his name, Noah Jones, a lot more often in the future.
Yeah, I would think so. Noah Jones, awesome run.
And we've got to talk about, speaking of one of the guys that maybe is a little intimidating competing against, Kevin Bull. He was so efficient, so smooth, and one of the spots especially on the mustache ropes, getting off that mustache and linking those 2 ropes and getting right off the obstacle, right into Python. So smooth.
Yeah, Kevin Bull was really smooth on that obstacle. He saved some time there, and honestly, if it wasn't for that last obstacle, he would have been bumped into a qualifying spot if he could have just touched the next ring. But overall, his mustache ropes was one of the cleaner ones that we saw the entire day.
Yeah, big time.
Big time, yeah. But then up next, got to talk about Cam Baumgartner with the move on the pipe time.
So awesome.
He comes off the mustache ropes. It was a little, he didn't get the dismount that he wanted to. He was off balance, and the pipe starts going, and he stands up. He's fumbling his way to get to the jump. Doesn't quite get there, but full send.
Oh, I love it more than anything, watching an athlete go, this isn't ideal, but I have no choice, and they just go for it. Full send, just lay it all out there, and he laid it all out there.
He literally laid it all out there. Nothing else he could have done. I mean, he jumped. I mean, I thought for a second he might have had it, but that pipe was it was too far at that point. But, it was awesome.
Right, and then another big-time moment, we got to talk about Sean Darlingham, and not only just his run in general, but specifically on the wing nuts. He didn't even do wing nuts. He just had the confidence to, no, I can do these different, and just monkey through them one arm at a time, and it saves so much energy.
Saved so much energy, so much time, literally just monkey barring his way through. I mean, he's got a huge wingspan. A lot bigger than a lot of other competitors. Even though he's not the tallest competitor, he's got that ape index.
And now we're going to look at our even bigger time moments, our UNX top 4. And remember, these are going to be on Instagram. You can vote on which of these 4 are your favorite, which will move on to next week and compete against the moments coming out of the major. But our first one I want to talk about, I mean, Donovan Mattori. He had a lot of moments that could be in here, but this one specifically, his wingnut skip.
Yeah, the wingnut skip, a huge move. He was the only athlete of the day to even attempt it.
Right.
And he got it, and he got the dismount. Saved him so much time, so much energy. Yeah. And there's no doubt in my mind that that move was one of the biggest difference makers in his first place run.
And it's that mentality, right? The mentality of like, hey, this move is possible, it could save some time, and he goes for it. He went for a lot of stuff like that in the course, which is why not only was he first place and the first clear, but also cleared with 30 seconds left.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, it's a top 4 moment because the move is hard, but it's also a top 4 moment because the mentality of having to just throw that, it's amazing.
Yep. Now we got to talk about our other course finisher, Darren Perez, and his save on the last obstacle is, talking about how hard that last obstacle was, the momentum is we both thought watching him that he was done.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at each other like, oh, that's so unfortunate. He's not going to be able to save this. And then all of a sudden, he gets a big kick, and he's on his way to the dismount.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Saves his run, gets him a finish, and a spot at the major.
Yeah, I mean, it was just unbelievably impressive. But then, we got to talk about Barclay Stockett's top moment. Coming off of the wobbly steps, this unstable surfaces, and dives for the rope, gets a very low catch on the rope. Crazy save.
And then she doesn't even need a backswing. And she makes the save. She's so strong, pulls through, boop, and then she's on to the next thing. It's like, whoa, what just happened? But, she's already at a disadvantage being a shorter competitor. And so already jumping for a rope like that is not the easiest. And then she's a little off balance and still is able to save it and then takes second place.
Yeah, I mean, huge save from Barclay. It would have been an unfortunate exit if she had gone out in that spot. And so big time moment.
And our top moment from the last 2 weeks now, Caleb Bergstrom's clear at Ninja Quest. He was the only clear and finished with 3.5 seconds left. What else can you say?
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge run on that course, and it's made it now into 2 weeks. He's a 2-week champ right now, coming into the top 4. So make sure you guys vote on these runs, and if you think Caleb's is still holding up, vote for that, or we might see a new champion.
Is Caleb going to beat?
I mean, it was awesome the run. But
can't be beat on the course. Can't be beat in the top 4 moments.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, this one provided some pretty good moments. I'm unbiased, but I have my favorite. I'm not going to say because you have to make your own decision.
Right. Let us know what you guys like best. Go to Instagram and vote on which of the top moments is your absolute favorite, and it'll come back next week. But right now, I mean, there were so many cool obstacles in this course. You got to give a lot of credit to Sean Brian Kretsch, and the team at Traverse Fitness. And but right now, I want to highlight, in our obstacle highlight, pipe time.
Pipe time. Probably, not probably, the most innovative obstacle so far that we've had on UNX in these open qualifiers. It used a laser to determine when to release the pipe, and then the pipe is on a track, and you got to jump to it, and just there's so much going on there. I absolutely loved it.
Yep. So let's take a look at some of those moments right now.
such an awesome obstacle. I love it. But next time on UNX Fast Forward, we are going to be live. We out here live, but not in the studio. We're actually going to be live at Ultimate Ninjas Naperville, where our first UNX major is going to be on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
That's right. And so when you check us out, we'll be live. You can ask us questions. You can go on Twitter and send stuff our way. But that's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week at 8:30 Central Time. You'll be able to catch us on UNX Fast Forward. And until then, I'm Ethan Swanson.
And I'm Chris DeGangi, and we'll see you live on Wednesday.